In this video, I'm going to teach you how to save your jump stat in your jump simulator, like so. So what we're going to do first is we're going to create a server script in the server script service, and we're going to call it save script and not have it capital like that. Okay, and so what we're going to go ahead and do is we are going to define the data store service, which is basically a service that allows you to save the data. Get service data store. And then we're going to right now reference a data store. So basically it's going to be a variable that's going basically a variable that's basically we're going to create a variable for what basically you're going to store your stuff in. So I'm going to say data store equals data service dot get data store, and then we're just going to call it my data store. So this is basically what we're going to save our stuff to, this data store. Okay, and so now we're going to create the save function right here. Save data explorer. And before I go ahead and actually I'm going to put that. Well, before I do that, basically Roblox saves stuff by like keys. So basically what you need to do is we're going to have to define a key and then give that key a value. Like in this situation, we're probably going to name it jump stat, and then we are going to we're going to give it the value of the jump stat value, in the leader stats. So in order for us to do that, what we could do is we say local success, comma, error message equals pcal function, and then this. So basically what this pcal function does is basically we're going to put in the save part in this line of code right here. Basically, if the saving works, it'll basically it'll equal success, and if it doesn't, it'll equal the error message. So we can use that in a little bit to make sure if it saves or not. Right now, we're going to say jump data store dot set async equals plur dot user. Wait, that's not even plur. Plur dot user ID dot jump stat, and then comma plur dot leader stats dot jump stat dot value. So basically what I did right here is this is the key. The key is basically named the player's user ID and then jump stat. This is just the name of basically the save, and then the the jump stat dot value is basically the value we are saving to this name or key. And so now what we can do with this is we're going to say if success, then print data saved, and then we're going to say else print data saving error, and then warn error message. So basically it's saying if this is a success and if this is true, basically happens when you save, the saving works, it'll say data saved. But if it's false, then there's going to be an error message, and you're just going to make it so the game will warn you if it doesn't save, which most of the time it won't. That's probably not going to be That won't happen that won't happen that much unless you get disconnected from the internet, like your internet stops working or something. So that probably is not going to happen too much. But right now, we are going to go ahead and make the load function, the load save function, get data explorer, and then local data. And then, so basically what this data right here is going to be for is we're going to load the data that we have saved up here, and then we're going to return it in the function. Because basically when you return something in the function, like for example, I said return 1, and I called get local, I say local return function equals get data, it's going to, this is going to equal 1 because the function returned 1. So basically this is going to be 1 because it's returning that. But we're not doing this because it's this example. What we're really going to do, we're going to say local success. Actually, I could go ahead and just copy this. Except I'm going to change this from set async to get async. And then delete this part. Because what the get async is saying is basically look for the key that's called the player user ID and then the jump stat. If it finds it, then load it. That's basically what it's going to say. So I'm going to say if success, then print data. So we're going to print the data we just got right here. Print data. Oops, and I just crossed something. This needs to be data equals. Yeah, I got to set the variable to this. So print data for success and then return it. So this is why we need to return here, because we're going to call this function in a little bit after we finish this. So we'll be able to basically load the jump stat value that we had on our previous time we were in the game. And so we're going to say else we're just going to print data retrieval error. And so basically if it's success, then return the data. If it's not, say there was an issue with the there was an issue with the attempt. So what we're going to do next is we're going to say game.players.player added .connect function plur. And then we're going to say load, not load, what did I call it? Okay, get data plur, because we need the plur right here in the parameter, because this tells this function right here what player do we want to load the data, or at least attempt to load the data. And then we're going to say we're going to say game.player removing connect function plur. When the player leaves, we're going to save the data. And of course, we need the parameter here, just like we do with the get data function. We need it here so that server knows what player needs to save. Okay. And now we need to say, actually, hold on. We need to say local data equals this. And we're going to say if data then plur.leader stats .jump stats .value equals data. Yeah, I forgot to set it to a variable, because this needs to be set to the variable. Well, it doesn't have to be set to the variable, but it makes it easier if you set it as a variable, because we need to get the data, because it's going to return the data. So if the data was, if the jump stat was 50, it will return 50. And it says, okay, well, since it's basically saying if the data returns something that's like not nil, which nil means nothing, then set the jump stat value to whatever it sent. So in this situation, if it sent 50, if it loaded 50 for the value, it would send it. It would basically say, okay, set the jump stat value to 50. Basically what it's doing here. And Yeah, this is good. We don't need to set up local. We don't need to set a value here. That's fine. And so also, it's better. Also, what we should do is have an auto saving feature, just in case this every once in a while we're gonna save in between the people being in the game. So like we could create a value right here. We could create a number value and basically make it called save cycle and give its value, I don't know, 180. That's like 3 minutes. Or yeah, let's do 3 minutes for example. While wait save script dot save data. Well, say not data, say cycle dot value do, and then say print saving. You don't have to say print saving. This is just saying print saving just to make sure it works. You know it's working. But for IV in pairs, not print pairs game dot players dot get children do save data v. And also, did I explain? I don't think I ever explained it before. But for IV, what for IV in pairs does is basically in this situation, children and parents and stuff. Well, when you get in the game, the player is going to be put in. Well, basically, what for IV and pair does is it basically saying when you say game.players.get get children. Basically, what this is doing is it's checking every child in the parent, not these parts, just the direct children, not their grandchildren, which would be this for workspace, just their children. Checks every single one. And so in this situation for players, it's going to go into players, and when the server starts, it's going to check every single player and save the data. And so that's how it works. And hopefully, if I didn't mess something up, it should work because, I don't really use saves. I don't really save that much in my games because you normally don't need it. I don't really need it in my games that much, but this is a situation you do. You know how to make simulators. So let's see. 79 right now. If I get out, get back in, it should function right. No, I made a huge mistake. User ID, you do not do capital I, capital D. It's capital I, lowercase d. Yeah, that was a slight mistake, but it throws everything off. You need to make sure you name it correctly. Let's test it out now. Yep, there we go. It's saved. So 570. Now if I get out and get back in, 570. And there you go, it works. One thing to make sure though, do not save your game that often. You don't want to make it so game saves that often, because if you make your game save too much, there's going to be an error where basically it'll fill up your game's queen or something. Basically makes it so there's obviously a cooldown. If you save too much, Roblox doesn't allow it. Basically if you try to make it save anymore, Roblox won't actually save it and the data will be lost. So don't save too many times. And also one other thing I need to do, because I kind of forgot to show you because I already had it that thing turned on. What you need to do is go on security and turn on enable studio access to API services. If you don't turn this on, you cannot save. So you must turn this on. If you turn it off, it will not work, because look, I turn this off. I set this back to 10. The game did not save. See, it's 50. But then if I go ahead and head back, it's saved. So yep, there's your quick tutorial of how to save. Well, once again, it's not really that quick, but it's done. And yeah, I'm about to go because my computer is about to die again. So enjoy the script, I guess, and see you in the next video.